So let's talk about the snare drum etude that's required for 11th and 12th grade All-State. It's etude number 39 from Anthony Cerrone, Portraits in Rhythm. I like to take this and I'm going to break it up into sections. And I think that you should practice it in sections and then string it all together. Because each section has its own individual concerns and characteristics. I like to call the first section the beginning until the downbeat of line 2. So that would be the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth measure. So the beginning to the downbeat of the sixth measure. Here, make sure that you don't play this too fast. Remember, andante is about walking speed. And if we turn on the metronome to 84, this is one of those etudes where I think it's entirely doable to do at the metronome marking. A lot of times I say to take it maybe just a little bit under just to be more comfortable with it. But I think this one can easily be worked up to 84, which is this fast. So, we're starting at the beginning of this. This is forte at the beginning, and then it returns to forte by the beginning of line 2. But there's a crescendo before it, so you need to drop down so that you can get back up to only a forte at the beginning of line 2. The next section is from the beginning of line 2 until the 2-4 measure at the end of line 2. Here you're going to notice in the 3-4 measure there is a slash through the 16th note, the second 16th note of beat 2. This is not going to be like a marching band diddle. We're going to play it concert style. My suggestion is to always play this with one hand as a buzz. Right? So this section is going to sound like this. Did you notice on beat 2 I just played the one diddle as a buzz with my right hand. The third section is from the next 2-4 at the end of line 2 until the downbeat on the beginning of line 4. The tricky part here is there's an accent pattern that turns around halfway through it. So it's best not to think of this first 3/16 as a 3/16 bar. Think of the accents as being even on the right hand. If you start the 2-4 bar at the end of line 2 with your left hand, you'll wind up on the downbeat of line 3 with your right hand, and that'll put all the accents starting on beat 2 of that measure with your right hand. There'll be 6 right hand accents in a row, and then you just simply turn it around to the downbeat on the second beat of the 2-4. I hope you're following me. So that would be a... Just look for that little turnaround and just keep all the 16th notes steady. And then it'll turn around again coming into the downbeat of line 4. So this is the third section. Practice that several times until that feels good to you. The fourth section starts at the beginning of line 4, and it's really just these first 2 bars here. Again, we've got those little buzzed diddles, I'll call them, on the second 16th note in the second measure, and then again on right on 2 and on the and of 2. I want to play all of those with my right hand for consistency. So I'm going to stick that second measure on line 4 as finishing the roll on my left hand, and then playing the buzz with my right, then 2 lefts, then a buzz right, left, buzz right, left. It's easier that way. So the whole 2 bars is... Now 84 is really slow enough that you can play the 16th notes all with one hand. And I think that's the way you should go through these quiet sections. So 55, I'm going to play everything that's 16th notes all with my right hand, only filling in with my left hand when 30 seconds come about. So the fifth section excuse me, is this third bar of line 4, to the middle of line 5. I think it's good if you lean towards the downbeats on that one bar that has the 32nd note rest. Ba-da-da-da, dee-dee-da, ba-do-dee-da. Just a little bit so that everybody can still feel where the beat is. The sixth section is from the middle of this line, going through the 3/8 and 3/16 on the next line. Again, I'm going to try to play all these buzzes with my right hand, followed by 2 lefts. That way I've got the same hand doing the buzz. It feels more comfortable. And I'm going to do that all the way to the downbeat of the 2/4 on line 6. Play that again. It's a little tricky, takes a little bit of practice, but I think that's probably the best approach. The 7th section is the beginning of this 2/4 measure on line 6 and to the downbeat of 7. Here I will finish the tap that happens before the roll with one hand and start the roll with the other hand. So I'm playing a tap with the right hand, left hand roll, and then finishing tap left hand, right hand. The 8th section is the beginning of the 2nd line. You'll notice there's a staccato marking over the 2 rolls, the one on the E of 1 and the downbeat of 2. These should just be played as a quick crush roll with one hand. So if we sang it, we'd sing ba-bzz, ba-bzz, da-bzz, 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 da. Don't cut the half note crescendo roll too short. Think 16th notes throughout that. The 9th section starts where we just left off with the 16th notes, and now we have a little recap of what happened at the beginning. Make sure that you jump to fortissimo in the second of these measures here. And this is going to go all the way to the decrescendo to the pianissimo on line 8. Again, now when I get down to this soft portion here, this begins the 10th section. This is the last measure of line 8, and this is going to go all the way to the end of the first measure on line 10. Again, I'm going to play all the 16th notes just with my right hand, filling in left hand 32nd notes. Make sure you come out of that into the note that I just finished into a loud note, because all of a sudden it is suddenly loud. This begins the 11th section, which is the second measure of line 10 all the way to the end of line 10. And here again, I'm going to make sure that whenever I have these single 16th with a slash through it, I'm going to play that as a buzz. The one that comes on the of 1 in the third measure of line 10, I'm going to play that one with my left hand. The 2 at the end of the line, I'm going to play with my right hand. And then finally the last section, the 12th section, is the last line itself, line 11. Here I'm going to do right hand lead, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. The rhythm turns around with the 3/16 bar. Here I'm going to try to give it just a little bit of a pulse on the 3/16 and the beginning of the 2, just so that we can kind of feel what happened. You see what I'm doing there? I'm really trying to make sure that we can feel by the time we get to the 2/4 bar that the pattern has turned around and it's not dun digga dun digga dun, but now digga dun digga dun digga dun digga dun dun. So I'm putting just the slightest bit of emphasis on those downbeats. So I hope dividing this up into sections and thinking about these different sticking ideas will help you. I think that once you do this in sections and then string it back together, it's going to turn out the way you want it.